Oh, shit. I'm back in a second.
Hi, Rita. Hello.
Hi, Mario.
How are you doing, guys?
Doing all right. Very busy day for me. I attended a workshop thing all day today.
Oh, really?
Life after PhD, and they had parts about
No, during the week, I think it's crazy for all of us in general.
inside or outside of academia, and then just now I finished my poster because tomorrow I actually have to leave to get to my sister's place because on Friday early morning I'm flying to Finland for a conference.
Wow.
Nice.
Sounds busy.
Yeah.
So-
Well, the good thing is that today I finally, at least from one of my 3 supervisors, I got some feedback on the poster after multiple days.
Wow.
So I
And
rushed
it was
home and tried to
positive
fix
feedback?
parts of it. Yeah, I mean, it was helpful, and it helped me sort of take out some not so important bits to make it less busy and sort of more visible. So that was good. Would I have preferred this 2 days earlier so it wouldn't be sort of in a rush, like half an hour between workshop day and this? Probably, but it's fine.
Yeah, with supervisors, it's always like that. You need to choose the
Yes, you're happy and grateful if they reply at all.
exactly.
So
Yeah.
great. That one of
That's
them.
so sad.
Yeah.
What about
How
you,
was your day,
Rita?
Mario? You
Oh,
have a good day?
yeah, I am working as well. A bit, a lot of things to do. But yeah, very excited and learning a lot of things. So yeah, happy. I'm doing a Stoic week, by the way, doing a lot of with a group. So we are doing a Stoic week. So it's every day we have a different Stoic reflection. We share it. Yeah, it gives me a lot of peace these days to
Yeah.
like a Stoic week. So yeah, that has
And then next week you're doing the Camino,
exactly. And next week I have the Caminos.
Yeah. Well, I feel like the reflection week is a good lead up
Yeah.
Yeah,
to
definitely.
this,
No,
right?
this
Maybe
that
getting you
is
in
a
the
good
mindset.
point. This Stoic week is a good starting point for the Camino, I would say. What
Yeah.
about you, Loda?
Yeah, Lotta, how are you?
I came home like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I have 2 more.
But Lotta, most important question first. Have you already yesterday, or is potentially your plan for today to watch the Hannah Montana reunion special?
No, I didn't know it's.
Lotta. So it's the 20-year anniversary. 20 years ago, Hannah Montana came out.
Yes.
So yesterday on Disney Plus, Hannah Montana reunion special, which unfortunately apparently is only an hour, but I shall watch it today, came out, and Miley Cyrus not only reflects on her time as Hannah Montana, no, she also dressed up as Hannah Montana
No
and sang a few
way.
songs. So I am ready to watch that.
Maybe, yeah, I will organize a Disney Plus account for my boyfriend. I think he still has one.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah,
Okay.
I feel like after a stressful day,
Yeah, I
could
should
be a good way
maybe
to-
that's what I'm doing tonight.
Yeah.
Actually. Yeah, sounds good.
It's always good
Yeah.
to have these moments of joy. Yeah, every day.
Yeah.
At least 10 minutes.
Moments
Yeah.
of millennial nostalgia.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Today I say, okay, I'm very busy, but I will take 15 minutes just to go to the terrace and read my favorite book there.
Ooh, sounds
And
good.
take some sun as well. So it felt very good. Yeah, just 15 minutes. That is enough.
Yeah.
So that
Oh,
that
I
will
feel
be Hannah
jealous about
Montana
the
for you today.
sunshine. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, but I still have to bake a cake tonight.
Ooh,
I
big
have.
cake. What
Yeah,
for?
I have like tomorrow is my last day in office for the department I'm currently in, so I have to bring something.
Okay. So what are you making?
Brownies.
Well,
Wow,
that's nice.
Keep it simple.
Yeah,
always good.
Yeah.
that's really good. Okay, should we dive in so that we can
Yes.
make sure we're definitely
Yes.
done in an hour? I created some very rudimentary meeting notes for our kickoff. I think we can count the check-in as checked.
Mhm.
And I think we're gonna dive in to the second point on the agenda, which I now call dreamstorming. So I think maybe we're all gonna take sort of 5 minutes to individually reflect on sort of in our visions, in our wildest dreams, what do you envision the lab experience to be like and feel like? Sort of if you imagine now that sort of where it is Sunday at the end of the forum and the lab journey is complete, how do you want to feel? What are the things that you want to have accomplished? Let's take 5 minutes, brainstorm a bit. You can also write down some notes so that we can then start sort of on this journey on joint vision, hopefully, and start making these things come true. Do you still need a few more minutes, or are you kind of good?
Yeah, I'm ready.
I just copied in my text,
Nice.
so I'm good.
Cool. Shall we start? Who wants to start by sharing?
I can start.
Yeah.
I wrote down that it's more of what was it like that I want to have the feeling of closeness to the people from the alumni, but also to myself back that I had during the Veil course, that it's kind of getting back into where we kind of left off at the course, even though it's then 1.5 years ago.
A bit of real magic.
Yeah, right. And I also, I don't know, I wrote down being at ease. I don't know. For me, it was like, okay, but that's kind of connected to feeling the closeness and just being like, okay, like I'm good kind of feeling, kind of vibe. And also because then also the work is kind of done for us,
Yeah.
you know? No, and then seeing everyone again and getting to know new people. And jumping back on the train of the Veil. But that's kind of connected to the first part and being inspired to continue the ride again. Because I feel like without the having a continuous reminder that it's there, it's kind of easy to lose track of it. Yeah, and I think a 4 or 5 day event will bring it back and at least keep it for a while then, hopefully.
Yeah. I get that.
Beautiful.
It can also be, yeah.
I share a lot of those ideas too. Would you like to continue, Luisa?
I can, but you also can. I don't care.
No, yes, you prefer.
Yeah, I think my words are very similar. I am really looking forward to bringing back that feeling of sort of strong community that I feel like within the Veil courses always becomes sort of very apparent. Inspired, fuzzy, warm feeling, kind of like calm and happy, I guess, very similar to what Lotta said. Proud of the alumni and what we as a team will have accomplished. And I, in my ideal world, if I imagine the lab experience the way I hope it's going to be, then I hope it's going to have some time for sort of deep reconnection with old spirit groups.
Awesome. Thanks. Yeah, I think we are all very aligned. For me, a big word that came to my mind is first, like contribution, like contribute to the lab experience, to the forum, and that everyone feels that they are there to contribute and to learn and to co-create something. And in terms of feeling, I would say to be proud of what we have created all together, and as well to be able to enjoy, right? Because in the previous symposium and in all the activities where I am engaged, usually I'm just doing and creating, but sometimes it's difficult to enjoy because like you feel this pressure to be in charge, to be responsible. And I think it would be great to have this feeling at the end of the forum that we had the chance to enjoy and to connect as well, like to be the organizers, but to be able to have this feeling of participant as well. And and in terms of how I imagine the lab, I would say deeply human, energizing, inspiration, as well as you said, and to have real conversations and a space as well where participants they feel welcome, safe, and connected to each other, and especially because sometimes for people there would be alumni from different years, and sometimes for people at the beginning it's very difficult to feel welcome or connected even though it's a veil. So like to be sure that we are creating right from the beginning these kind of spaces so everyone feels at ease and welcome basically, and that they belong there, like that is a good space to be. So everyone integrated. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. I get the feeling that we all have the kind of same idea what the lab
Yeah.
should feel like at the end.
Yeah, I agree. I hope it's going to be as magical as I imagine it to be. Yeah. Let's maybe now I sneakily added an agenda point before we talk about questions that we might want to bring to the team, and I think that's going to be sort of a fixed agenda point that we're always going to have here, either stuff that we want to bring up in our weekly meetings, or right now I think mostly stuff we're collecting for the prep meeting. Maybe we can first talk about sort of open questions that we already have now, that sort of things we need to discuss within the team. I mean, obviously there are a million things because we haven't really decided anything yet. So like, I mean, mostly things that we need to decide that maybe don't have that much to do with educational framework, for example. I can also give an example, maybe that's going to make it easier, but one thing that sort of I'm unsure about how we're going to deal with this and that we need to discuss at some point is the fact that even though we very much envision this to be sort of an alumni sphere, people that are not alumni can also apply to it. And then we're going to need to decide how we're going to deal with this. And there might be some people that actually we might want to have there because there are people that are maybe like board members or national directors of other YFU organizations, for example. But then we need to figure out how we're going to make this sort of bubble alumni focused experience one that is also understandable and magical to other people. And I think like we're going to cross that bridge when we get to it. Obviously, this is way too early, but I just wanted to share early on that this is something that in my head I'm wondering about, and that Eric and I were also, while we were writing the application, we were like, and other people can also apply. We were like, we'll have to cross that bridge when we get to it. But I think that's going to be a challenge.
But I also think it really depends on how many there will be.
Yeah.
Because it makes a lot of difference if you have one or if you have 10.
Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah. No, it's definitely something we have to think about.
But I mean, Luisa, you think the issue is because of the application? Because we said that the lab is designed for the Vail alumni, not for new people outside the Vail, right?
No, I mean, for Erasmus Plus, we had to say that it's sort of also a place for our alumni, but anyone can apply.
Oh.
And I think depending on who applies and depending on their profile, we could and should still take the people that sort of fits the profile we're looking for the most. So it could be that there are going to be a few other people that we invite to the lab experience, but then I think we need to figure out how to design sort of a flow through the lab days that works for them without having participated in a full course before. I'm not saying it's necessarily going to happen. Could also be that nobody applies, or that the one or two people that apply just don't fit the profile at all, and then we're only going to have alumni. We don't know that yet, but it could very well be that we'll have non-alumni there, and then I think we can't completely build on everything we did during the course because some people might not have done the course, or same with
exactly. Like to keep it as an independent experience, so anyone who didn't do the course can understand what is the idea behind the lab.
And honestly, not to the same extent, but also a little bit for the NBLC participants. We're obviously hoping that some people from NBLC will also join us, but the course looked different back then, right? There are some sessions that are now really at the heart of the Vail course that just weren't present during NBLC, right? So even then, we're going to have to figure out how to, like, language-wise and experience-wise, sort of build bridges between the different course years. I guess the course has always evolved.
Yeah, that is an important point, definitely, especially because if we want to make everyone feel welcome and integrated, we don't need to make this distinction between the Vail participants or other programs or new people participating. But just to double check, I mean, the lab will follow the same topic as the forum, like value-driven leadership in hybrid context, right? That
Yes,
will be the topic of
but
the lab.
sort of it's not all, at least that's how we envisioned it, it's not all going to be content sessions, right? We're also going to have some type of reflection groups. We're going to do some networking. We're going to have maybe some, I think we're going to end up having parallel slots just because we're going to be 56 people, right? So then maybe some parallel slots will focus more on on self-leadership, whereas others will focus more on leading other people, that kind of thing, right? So these are all things that hopefully we're going to start laying the groundwork for during the prep meeting. But the overarching theme will definitely be the same as for symposium, because ideally we want people to also prepare something for the symposium day during the lab.
Oh, that is yeah, amazing. That is great. So they can get even some practice during the lab days.
Yes. Yeah.
One question that comes to mind for me is, how do we select the 50 participants if we have more applications than 50?
Yeah. We'll need to find a solution for that. Yeah. So I think first the problem is, how do we make sure we get more than 50 applications or even get to the 50? I have no gut feeling as to how hard that's going to be, honestly.
No
Depending on the
idea.
date, maybe also. But then also sort of what are the selection criteria going to be? That's something we need to think about. Yeah.
I mean, from what I remember from reading the application, we will pay the participants reimburse at least the flight expenses and accommodation. I mean, accommodation, we have
Yes.
to take care of it. So I think with that, it won't be very difficult to get participants if we are covering the flights and accommodation.
Yeah, but
But
still,
it's
I
during
mean,
during the week, so people have to take time off of work,
it
and I
starts
think
during-
that's the part where it's tricky, and
it
people might
starts
say
during
no
the
to it.
week. It's at the beginning of Christmas season. We also can't forget about that. And might just be a date that doesn't work for people. But we're still asking for commitment. I wouldn't be worried if we had applied for 20 or 30 people, but 50 plus team is quite a number too.
For
Good
me,
to-
the main thing is communication. Like really,
Yeah.
as soon as we can have the fixed ideas and start communicating this with a lot of time, shouldn't be a problem. But yeah,
But also, it's not like we have to know the criteria before we send out the application.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, I think we need to, we definitely need to know about the criteria before we write the call for participants,
Yes.
the
right?
selection criteria, you mean?
Yeah, we need to be aligned on that. Yeah.
Uh, yeah. Oh, there is so many things, so many ideas to discuss.
No, I
don't know
mean, we don't need to get into sort of
from where
the
to start.
tiniest details. This is
Yeah.
mostly to like sort of bigger things that right now we're already like doubtful about, or something we definitely want to note
Well,
down
I
for the
think
future.
it's like the overall frame of when do we start, when do we finish, time-wise, so people can arrive and leave. And it's not like here, there's one leaving, there's one leaving, there's one leaving. And we also have quite a ride to the airport.
Yeah.
From the location. But that's, without
It's
getting.
also good because then also people don't really have the option of just leaving whenever. And
Yeah.
so just sort of
Very true.
coordinate, right? Yeah.
Yeah, they need to be committed to to participate both in the labs and symposium, right?
Yeah.
Because they would be like 3 full days and 2 half days, from what I remember, right? Like
Yes, but one of the 3 whole days is symposium day, right?
yeah,
So
exactly.
it
For
is
the
like
two
for the lab, it's 2 half days
2 half days.
and 2 full days. Yeah. So Wednesday and Sunday are the half days, Thursday and Friday are the full days, and then Saturday symposium day.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So realistically, it's 2 days of actual sort of lab stuff, because first day is going to be more about like networking, socializing, reflection. Then we have 2 content days. Then we have symposium day, and then we have a wrap up where we want people to sort of, I don't know, figure out learnings from the lab and symposium, blah blah blah. Right. So we have 2 full content
And
days.
we are finishing on Saturday, on Sunday.
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 Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sunday after lunch, we're leaving.
Sunday after lunch. Yeah.
Anything else you want to either put here or already note down as something to start talking about during prep meeting? Because during prep meeting, obviously, we will start sort of doing a bit of vision alignment and starting to figure out some of the building blocks of the educational framework together. But
Yeah, what I was thinking, or for me, something very important is that we define as a team as soon as possible, like the core concept or the idea of the lab, so we can start with the recruiting of the participants. In that sense, for me, like the part of contribution would be extremely important to recruit participants, because we are saying that this would be a co-creation, right? The participants
Yeah.
are the ones who will give the workshops or the sessions or the activities.
yes,
So once we have defined like the main topic, let's say is hybrid leadership, uh, and we start with the recruitment, we can see as well which kind of activities the participants or workshops or topics they are open to offer. Based on that, start with
but
this.
most of this is still gonna come quite late, right? I'm re-looking at the roadmap that Eric and I designed at some point, and our plan was that sort of at the latest in mid-August, the call for participants is out, and by mid-September, participant selection is completed. So then we have from
Yeah.
mid-September to beginning of December to finalize the program and help the alumni, right? But one of the things we want to do is not just say we want you to do workshops, but we also want to assist people in sort of figuring out how to structure their sessions, etc., if they need help. But yeah, that definitely means that those are going to be 2 sort of intense months, right? Because then we basically only have October and November to figure these things out with the participants, because before that we won't know. We can create sort of the slots and we can decide on sort of focus topics, or we can create a schedule that sort of highlights when reflection times are going to be and when content times are going to be and which sort of parallel sessions, sort of what the focus of the parallel sessions is going to be, but the actual topics aren't going to be there yet. But I think ideally, before the call for participants is out, we have already sort of created that framework in the sense that we can already tell people that we're specifically looking for things that, right, fall into specific parallel sessions or time slots.
Yeah, exactly. For example, if we are saying that the three cores that we will have during the labs are like learning, connection, and I don't know, network,
For example, yeah.
for example, right? So then during in our landing page for the applications, we can explain this and say participants that we are expecting to receive proposals covering those three core activities.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, this is, I think, how we're going to go about this. And in my head, and I haven't talked to Eric yet, but in my head, one of the main things we're going to do at the prep meeting is start aligning within the team about these building blocks and focus areas for both the lab and the symposium, so that we can make sure that they really sort of work together neatly and they have a good sort of lead up, right? Because aside from this alumni bubble experience and peer-to-peer learning and networking, we want the lab experience to be sort of a build up, a lead up to the symposium, so that our alumni, also the ones that have not had hybrid or remote leadership as a focus topic in their courses, as people that sort of have a little bit of extra knowledge on the topic and bring something to the table for the symposium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have noticed like practical knowledge on the learning slot, then reflection, and the other one was connection. So I envision a bit like those three pillars What do you think, guys? I think we were aligned on those, right?
Sorry, can you repeat the 3 ones?
Like practical knowledge, right? Not a lot of theory, like practical workshops, reflection, and spaces of connection, like networking or this kind of miracle morning things that we had during the veil. I envision like those three pillars in the lab. What do you think, guys? I don't know if I'm frozen or.
I think
No,
Luisa
I
is
can hear you.
frozen. Like
really?
Luisa's video is sometimes frozen.
Okay.
I'm so annoyed these days with the
It's
internet.
my
I don't think
experience
I'm
with
that.
Luisa in a phone call. Luisa sometimes stops moving. Still talking, but stop moving.
Terrible. Yeah, I think we don't need to limit ourselves to these 3. I think maybe we're gonna find like a 4th or a 5th one, but I think those will definitely be part of it. I very much agree with the ones that you mentioned. I don't know, Lotta, how you feel.
No, I agree with them, but I also think we should at least not yet limit us to them.
No, definitely
But
not. And I think
knowing,
parts of
like,
prep
yeah.
meeting, yeah. Mhm. Anything else that you want to add or questions that you have?
Something that I was thinking is for the application of the participants, since this is going to be a co-creation, is
Yeah.
like, let's say we have these 3, 4, or 5 pillars. They are applying and saying how they can contribute, why they are good candidates, like why they should be there, and like the best ideas or that are more aligned with the vision that we have for the lab. We select these people and then we ask them to complete a TSO, for example, like a full description of the activity, how they envision the activity, the different parts.
Yeah. Plus, we offer them to help. Yeah.
And then after that, we can review it and help them like to refine the activity or the workshop. And
Yeah,
that
or
is-
help them earlier on, right? If they don't really know how to do it, but they have an idea and they need help, then I think we're happy to help out.
Yeah. Yes, like in practical terms, for me, like the landing page and the form to recruit the participants are like very, very important. But of course, we need to define
Yeah.
the idea.
But honestly, I don't know if we really, for the application at least, we need to know that much outside of them sort of specifying which parallel slot and focus theme they could envision doing something in, and maybe 1 or 2 sort of content ideas, right? I don't think we need an actual description of a potential workshop yet, as long as we have sort of some key terms or a rough idea. I think for the application that's enough, because we don't even know yet if they're gonna make it through the application round, right? And I think once we've accepted the participants, then we can go into more depth
Yeah, definitely.
concerning this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. And I mean, before having the ideas or proposal of the participant, we already can define like kind of the structure of each day in terms of maximum how many workshops we want to have, maximum how many connection activities or reflection space we want to have. So that is something that I think we can define, and then based on all the proposals that we receive, just accommodate them into this. I don't know, we can say maximum 3 workshops per day, and then 2 connection activities and 1 spirit group during the afternoon. And then based on that, we can accommodate the proposals.
I think one thing that we need to, and maybe honestly, maybe that's something we discuss with the whole team, maybe, is whether or not it is actually smart to already ask them for like a rough content or workshop idea when they apply, because chances are that they might then feel like if they don't write anything down, a workshop that they could do, that they feel like we won't select them based on that. So maybe it would actually be nicer to just tell them that this is going to be the rough framework, and outside, like once we have sort of the pool of actual participants, then we're going to reach out and ask them for actual sort of workshop ideas. I think this might actually be the nicer way to do it, because otherwise, first of all, people might think that we're not selecting them because they didn't hand in a workshop idea, or people put a lot of thought into a workshop idea and then we don't select them as participants. So I think there's actually, it's going to make things even more interesting time-wise if we decide to do it after. So maybe the solution is to just have them apply earlier, but we said that in July, nobody's going to actually, like especially in the Nordics, nobody's going to actually check their emails and apply. That's why we went for mid-August. I don't know if we already want to, in this group, share how we feel about this. And then I think this might actually be a decision that we bring to the whole team about
I would
when these
say,
submissions happen.
Luisa, that I mean, I would just add a question in the main application form, like how do you think you can contribute to the event, without specifying like any kind of workshop or activity, so they feel free to say whatever they want. Because at the end, I think that is a very important selection criteria. If this is going to be about contribution and co-creation, and then in a second round, we can ask them more details based on their first answers. Just how you believe you can contribute to the event, and then yeah, in the next round, asking them if it's a workshop or an activity or whatever. I would include it. I don't think people will get scared because of that question if it's an open question without much pretension. But it is a very important criteria, at least in my opinion. What do you think, Lotta?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm like somewhere in between right now, because
Yeah.
I really get the point of Luisa being like, okay, if we ask them too direct and about too many details, then it kind of feels like if they don't write anything in, then they will not be selected. And we don't, to be honest, at the end, we don't need 50 people that do workshops.
Yeah,
No.
exactly.
We don't
need a few, but those need to be
everyone
really
to
good.
organize something. So yeah, so it can kind of backfire, because at least I would feel the pressure if I fill it out and have to write a complete concept of a workshop in there. But I also get the point of, we would like to have an idea if people already have something in mind. So I like the idea of having an open question of, for example, how do you think you can contribute to it? But then also we kind of have to specify somewhere that we would like to have workshop leaders, and we would like to have, I don't know, people that organize this and that. So people actually know what we are kind of getting to by the question of how can you contribute? Because I don't know if I would answer with the concept of a workshop if it's not clear to me that that's something they are looking for. So I think it's kind of hard to find a middle way of not forcing people to feel like they have to write something, because some people just don't feel comfortable doing workshops, and I think that's totally fine. But also getting people and getting the feeling of, okay, we have to contribute something. And even if it's like the good spirit, because I'm organizing a nice, fun thing at the evening, I don't know.
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah, middle way. That's why I'm kind of in between.
Yeah, I think we're going to need a really good description for
Yes.
what the lab actually means, and that for peer-to-peer learning, we're going to need a lot of contributions. And then I like the idea of going the middle way, like Mario suggested, about sort of asking more about how they envision themselves contributing, and then sort of putting a note somewhere that once sort of people have been accepted, we're going to reach out for more specific workshop ideas. But yeah, maybe this is still something we discuss.
No, I
at the
mean, and we can
workshop.
always add a point or a clarification saying that this is not exclusive or eliminatory, like people can still apply.
Yeah.
But yeah, just
And
to,
as Lotta said, we're not going to need 56
yeah,
workshop
absolutely, yeah,
ideas.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, definitely not. Even I think even like 10, 12 workshop would be a lot already. But yeah, we can make a note on the form that this is not eliminatory or exclusive.
Yeah. Mm.
I'm reviewing my notes. Yeah, something that I made some notes on relating the participants or possible selection criteria is, of course, prioritizing diversity of backgrounds and a balance of the different topics that we want to cover and skills. Because if everyone is applying, I don't know, to do a certain kind of workshop or activities, we need to balance it. But yeah, I think we can discuss it later.
Yeah. And then I think we can also we can look at, or I can present to you how we usually, what the 5 core evaluation factors that we use for the courses are, and see if we can adapt
Absolutely.
parts of them, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Because we do have a way that we usually go about this, and I think we're going to need to adapt a little bit, and we need to figure out things like, do alumni get like an extra cookie point, right? That's gonna advance them, etc. The question is also, this is something that I think at some point we're gonna need to discuss, because I think there's gonna be unbalance to which extent we want to ensure that, for example, from each potential year, so NDLC and Vail, at least 5 participants make it, as long as 5 or more apply. Or if we just go by sort of highest ranking, would we be fine if more than half of the group would be course 2026 and then the rest almost nobody, right? These are going to be details that we need to discuss more when we get closer to application and selection, because ideally, aside from sort of perspectives, gender, etc., we also want balance in terms of course years.
Yeah.
Anything else? That's just a very rough overview, obviously. I already noted down 2 things that we want to bring to the team for the prep meeting. So when I start thinking about that with Eric, I'm going to bring that to the table, like the building blocks of the educational framework and potentially the ideas of the application form and how and when to ask for which ideas. Maybe we should also re-look at the roadmap and the dates that we have at the moment, because it's rather late, but I also agree that we can't really do it much earlier, especially if realistically we do want more people to apply.
And I also, even if we do the application before summer, kind of, whatever date that might be then, exact date, I don't think that too many people would start working on the concept of a workshop then. So I don't think it will give us more time on that side.
Yeah, I agree. Plus, if we started a lot earlier, we would also have to keep the application open for a lot longer. And then honestly, most people would still apply in the last 2 days. So I think at the end of the day, the one thing we need to be really good at is an early save the date. And I think Marky's already actually working on that. So we'll be fine. Yeah. Should we use the last 15 minutes to briefly talk about how we foresee sort of our work together as lab team until the prep meeting? I know that there are multiple things that we can't really start with too much before the prep meeting happens. So I think the question is more practically, do we do another meeting? And if so, when? And what are things that you would like to focus on for that next meeting?
For me, like I need that we need to discuss it with the other half of the group, but is start to crystallizing like the concept that we have and the ideas. So based on that, we can define other topics. Like for example, yeah, if we say the main topic will be this hybrid leadership, and we will be focused on these 3 or 4 or 5 pillars for the event, that will help us to define other things that we can eventually use for the landing page, and to start like communicating the idea to other people and to receive feedback as well.
Yeah.
But
But do
then
you see
that's after the prep meeting, during the prep meeting. Do you see that before the prep meeting?
Yeah,
Like
I mean,
where
we can do it during the
are
prep
you?
meeting as well. But yeah, I mean, if we can define some stuff before the prep meeting, will help as well to make the prep meeting even more productive, I would say, and we have more time to do all the stuff. But yeah, we can do it during the prep meeting, sure.
I mean, we could still sort of just schedule one more meeting before the prep meeting to sort of help define a few more things. But I also think that we shouldn't get too far with this, because I also think in terms of vision alignment for the whole forum, it's actually also really nice if we do a lot of this together with everybody to just have something that feels coherent and feels like everybody can take ownership over it. But I do like the idea of letting this sit for a little bit, especially because I am unavailable next week, and then finding one more meeting slot in calendar week 15, like the week before the prep meeting, to see. Until then, Eric and I should also have a rough draft of the prep meeting, so then we can maybe figure out what specific things are that we still want to discuss before we do it. I don't know how you feel about that.
Yeah. I have like one day that would work in week 15 for me.
Okay. Which day is it?
And that's the Wednesday.
Okay. Yeah, Wednesday could still work for me. So we're talking about April 8th.
Yeah. That's like, I like the idea of getting a little bit ahead, but I'm also think that it's even more important that we as a whole group get the vision right, and
Agreed.
have one vision where we then align the lab vision into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mario, April 8th, would that work for you or
I
no?
think I'm going to be extremely busy that day because I'm checking. I have like a 3 hours meeting in the afternoon.
Okay.
Like I could only do evenings.
Yeah.
I have a meeting from 5:45 to 8:15.
Honestly, if it's impossible, like Lotta said, I also don't think that there's a lot of harm. I love that in terms of vision and how we want the lab experience to feel, I can feel us being very aligned. And as long as we get the important discussions out of the way during the prep meeting afterwards, I think we can also just dive in and divide and conquer a little bit as well.
Yeah. That afternoon will be impossible for me. Great.
Okay.
Once again.
So then let's just say we're not doing another meeting until the prep meeting. Once Eric and I have a rough vision of the prep meeting, we're obviously going to send that around. And if there's something that we feel like we want to discuss in writing, sort of between the three of us, then we can also do that. And if not, then I feel we already have a very similar vision for the vibe we're going for. And I think the details and the themes are actually really good to discuss with the whole team. Cool.
Would it be smart if we look for a date for next meeting after the prep meeting already? I
Just
have
it
not,
rot.
like, I
Yeah.
feel like all of us are so busy
Yeah.
that it
Agree.
might be smart to put a meeting in earlier.
Can we
Yeah,
look
good
for
idea.
calendar week 17 then? Like the week right after the prep meeting? I think that might be good to then sort of
To
figure
pick
out
them,
what
yeah.
the results from the prep meeting mean for our actual work. Yeah. So the week from the 20th onwards.
For me, Tuesdays and Wednesday evenings are always quite hard to make. Like, I could make it possible, but I would prefer not to. Or it's kind of logistics things for
I
me.
think in that week, given that we're
But-
only traveling back on Sunday, Monday's not ideal. So how about Thursday, the 23rd
Yeah, that works for me.
evening? What time? 5,
Could
6,
we
7?
maybe say 8 if it's not too late?
Sorry, for me it's quite late. Like 7:30 would be fine because I'm going to bed like around 8:30. Like until 7:30 would be fine for me. Or 8, but I just can stay like 30 minutes.
We can, yeah, okay.
Or we do the Friday if the 24th is better?
Yeah,
No, I can, like, yeah, that would also be okay.
I mean Friday is fine for me as well.
Would that day work earlier for you, like 6 or
Yes.
7 o'clock?
Yes.
Mario?
Yeah, I mean 6 or 7 is fine.
So then let's do 6 to
I'm-
7.
Yeah, let's say.
Yes, we can do that, but I will start working on a new foundation after Easter, so I have to see if I will be home at 6, like
Yeah.
how their work times are. I have to kind of figure that out first.
So
But we can say 6 to 7, and if it doesn't work, I
If
will
it's a bit
know
later.
yeah, or we can say
week
7.
after Easter.
Right? 7
So-
is fine for you, Luisa?
Oh, if you prefer, we can also just start at 7.
Yeah,
if that's
just say
easier.
7 so I can block it on my.
Okay.
Okay.
So
So
Friday.
April 24th at 7. I will put that in the calendar.
Thank you.
Okay. Amazing. Then thank you so much for this meeting. I feel like this was already very productive, and I am now even more curious what we're gonna figure out during the prep meeting. I think it's gonna
Yeah.
be really awesome.
Thank you guys. Yeah, it was very
Alright.
productive.
Luisa, do you have like a minute so
Yeah,
we can talk about the prep meeting organization part?
Yes. Yes.
Thank you guys. See you.
Have a nice
Thank you,
evening,
Mario.
Mario.
Bye.
Bye.